Hello, fellow followers. Welcome back to FanZcene. Greg here, and today I have you. Star Wars looks like a completely different film now. What do I mean by this? Well, uh, I saw this article that came out from the Hollywood Reporter, right? Which I'm going to go over some of it here in a minute. But what this is all about is recently a print of the original unaltered version of Star Wars was found and screened, and the Hollywood Reporter did an article about it and how the movie looks terrible. Now you would think, oh, maybe it's too many like nicks and scratches. Maybe the film is degraded. No, that's not how it looks terrible. That's not at all what they're talking about. And I believe this article is clearly a paid off article. It just reads like it or something. It's very frustrating. And I'm gonna go ahead and just bring it up here because I'm chomping at the bit here to talk about this. And this is just it is as a, it's, anyways, it says Star Wars looks terrible in screening of long lost original 1977 version. Once again, you think, oh, it looks terrible. It's an old print, right? It's from the 70s. That's probably what's wrong with it. No, it says the years have not been kind to the oft romanticized original print of the sci-fi classic, which lacks all of George Lucas post-release tweaks and polishes and looks like a completely different film. Well, no crap, it looks like a completely different film because of George Lucas's post-release tweaks and polishes. He added so much CGI and fluff and smoothed out, took out away the grain. It's not the same movie. It's not. And ooh, wait till you guys hear some of this crap because, like I said, I probably won't read the whole article, but I'm going to get to the gist of what I'm talking about here. This article is by James Hibbert, which he's got to be paid off. I'm sorry. And this is what gets me right here. It says a long lost official print of the 1977 Star Wars was recovered from an archive and screened for a group of cinema aficionados and diehard fans. Sure, sure. Yeah, let's listen to what some of these aficionados and diehard fans had to say about the original unaltered version that we've all been wanting for years and that a lot of us grew up on. And some of us, in some cases, may have grew up on pretty much the unaltered version. But yes, George Lucas has altered it here and there before, after the release and everything. But still, it's what we've been wanting. But apparently, I guess we don't, according to this. So, and it says, let's go on here because I don't care about this part where they talk about Kathleen Kennedy. The less said about her is better. It said the results. An attending film critic from The Telegraph who attended the screening last week admitted the unaltered original looks terrible by modern standards. Once again, I've done videos on this. You cannot look at classic films through the modern lens. Modern films are completely different, and yes, they do look different because they're not film. They're digital. Everything is digital. uh, uh, I want to. Anyways, let's get on to this. And it says, while fans understandably tend to focus on Lucas' most intrusive creative moves, adding the jarring CGI version of Jabba the Hutt, pointless scene doesn't need to be in there. Looks awful to this day. Having Greedo shoot first, Han shot first, period. Nobody can change my mind about that. Stuffing distracting CGI creatures and droids into Mos Eisley. Yes, and it looks way worse. The amount of subsequent polish and tweaks over the years is so extensive that many aspects of the original look just as noticeably fake as the erroneous CG. Really, it looks fake. Okay. It says, I felt like I was watching a completely different film, wrote Robbie Collin, one of the film aficionados and diehard fans, who called the print a joyously craggy, grubby, stolidly carpeted spectacle. I use lots of big words because I'm smart and I am a film critic. Oh, it felt very pretentious to me. I'm sorry. It just felt very pretentious the way he said that. And it says, that looks more fancy dressed than Grand Sci-Fi Epic. Every scene had the visceral sense of watching actual people photographed doing actual things with sets and props that had been physically sewn and glued into place. The slapstick between C-3PO and R2-D2 looked clunkier and therefore funnier, and the Death Star panels were less like supercomputers and wooden boards and lights are stuck on, and so better attuned to the frequency of make-believe. It felt like less like watching a blockbuster in modern sense than the greatest game of dressing up in the desert anyone ever played. This movie was made in the 70s. It cannot be looked at through modern standards. They didn't have the modern effects back in the day, and I'm sorry, I have this. This is a 35 millimeter print of the original unaltered version of Star Wars 4K 77. Look it up if you don't know what it's about. They found the original print of the film, unaltered the way it was originally released. They fixed it up. I have a 4K version of it here. Looks incredible, and it looks like it was shot on film. It's got grain because film is supposed to have grain. Film is supposed to have grain. It can pop in colors. It can hide certain things that it needs to hide. The special effects and lighting were a big part of how they used to film films before digital came along. I think in some cases the special effects and the puppetry and everything look more realistic than the CGI modern bullcrap in a lot of films today. And I thought this was very pretentious and stupid. And there's this great scene in the movie Fanboys. If you've never seen the movie Fanboys, it's about a group of these friends who are diehard Star Wars fans who are going to go still a still print of Episode One, The Phantom Menace. You know, because they want to see it before anybody else. And there's a great line in the movie that I'm going to play here, and hopefully I can play it for you guys, where this is said.
I wish I could change these last 3 years, you know? You know, I wouldn't want you to. You gotta keep the flaws. Crappy effects. Real puppets. That's what makes it so good, you know? Yeah.
Now, I absolutely love the movie Fanboys. I will tout that movie from here to eternity because I really feel like this movie Fanboys captures what it was like to be a fanboy, a nerd, and you know, it's set in 1998, right before I believe like 1998 was like the year before nerd culture went mainstream, and when nerd culture went mainstream from then on out, it's been downhill. And I really feel like the relationships between all these guys and the girl and everything just really captures what it was like, what me and my friends and my brothers and people at that time, how we would talk to each other, how we would talk about Star Wars. And I love the part where he says I wouldn't change anything over the last 3 years. You can't change it, right? It's the special effects and everything. I don't think they're crappy personally, but I get what he was saying there, right? That's what makes Star Wars so good. It's this incredible movie that captured our imagination and our wonder of what film and entertainment and sci-fi could be, right? And I really truly feel like I would like to know the ages of these people because they got to be very young people, and I feel like they're very pretentious, and I feel like this is disgusting, and I really feel like this was a paid article either by Disney, Lucas, Kennedy, or something to try to get people convinced and say like, see, we found it, we shared it to you guys, it sucked, it looked terrible. See, you don't need it. Just buy our 4Ks and everything. Which I do actually have. The This was the last set of Star Wars movies released by George Lucas before it was sold to Disney, and they are the digitally remastered ones. Disney released them 4K. Not buying them on 4K. Screw Disney. They're the same scans that are on these. These don't even look the same as the original. They're so scrubbed to be modernized that I think people have really truly forgotten what Star Wars is supposed to look like and feel like, and so much damage has been done by Disney. And I think I'll read one more thing here before I close it out. It says, a vlogger from Cinema Savvy, George Aldrich, who says he's seen A New Hope at least 100 times, said the screening was incredibly special, but likewise made him realize there are so many great changes to Star Wars films. It's one of the ones we dislike that always overshadowed them. He too noted the print was so radically different that it felt like watching the film for the first time. From day one, George Lucas has been making changes to these films, he said. It hasn't just been, here's one big scene change there. It's been a little nuance. It's been the sound effects. It's been the smallest details, which you do not notice. It's true. Some of the stuff he's changed and everything from the beginning is right. But this is what really gets me. It says, Aldridge noted differences like R2-D2 isn't hiding behind rocks, which how would he even fit by? If you've seen that CGI, like how would he even get behind that rock when the Tusken Raiders come from them? There are so many little things that I noticed. The Cantina, there's been cleaning up of James Earl Jones' voice. So ironically, a version of Star Wars that Lucas so long didn't want to be shown seems to give viewers more respect for Lucas due to gaining some appreciation for his extensive and controversial tinkering. I'm going to take that off because no, not even this. These, I've had these for years. I've always wanted the originals, and I will never after getting these, I got these sent to me by Rick, a good friend of the channel here. I have all three of them, where they found original prints of the film, the unaltered, unedited version of Star Wars, and I will never ever go back to watching these versions. Never. I watched these recently. It brought back the joys and wonders of being a Star Wars fan, of why I like Star Wars, because Disney has done so much damage. George Lucas himself, the creator, I know a lot of people like him and everything, but he's done a lot of damage to Star Wars himself as well. Um, these will always forever be the best versions of the film that I will find. Uh, Disney can kiss my ass. These bloggers and vloggers and film aficionados can kiss my ass. I'm sorry, I know I shouldn't be saying stuff like that, but they can. If you like the specialized versions of the CGI, the modern look of them, cool, great. I'm not going to discount it, because I know for a lot of people that's the Star Wars they actually grew up on, because that's the ones that's only been available. But to discount this and everything, the costumes, the way it looks, the special effects, the clunkiness, and say that, oh, you know what, maybe the CGIs and everything was really good, you know, I don't think you were ever really a truly Star Wars fan. I really don't. And I don't think you're a film aficionado or anything. I don't think you know what film is supposed to look like. The digital age has ruined a lot, absolutely a lot, and CGI as well too. Nothing will ever beat, as they say, the practical effects, the puppetry. If you want to call them crappy effects, the crappy effects. Nothing will beat them. I wouldn't want them changed anyways. I wouldn't. But let me know what you guys thought about all this in the comment section down below. I'll put a link to the article down if you want to read the whole article. I think at some point at the end, near the end of the article, they do say it was a little shabby too. The print of the film, with a little grainy and all that, but I don't think that was their focus of it. But let me know what you guys thought about this in the comment section down below. And if you liked what you saw here, maybe consider hitting that like button or subscribing, hitting that bell for notification. That'd be awesome if you're in you guys' subscriptions, or possibly share the video out for everybody to see, or join and become a channel member, because that would help out my channel immensely. Thank you, and shout out to all my channel members. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you guys being channel members here, and for all of your support. To everybody watching, whether you liked me, hated me, or liked this video or hated this video, I thank you for sticking this long. Wherever you all are, please have a great, safe, happy, healthy day, morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Always support physical media, especially of the ones you really, truly like, because it is the superior format now more than ever. Godspeed, and may the force be with you always.